So picture this. It was bedtime, and a man named David Jones took off his Meta smart glasses, just casually placing them on his bedside table. Right after, his wife, Catherine, walked into the room and began undressing. But here's what neither of them realized. Those glasses, they don't automatically go into standby mode just because you take them off. They actually kept right on recording, capturing footage of Catherine and eventually sending a naked video of her across the world. Honestly, it's hard to imagine a more deeply human, just devastating invasion of privacy. But as the source material we're digging into today reveals, this perfectly illustrates exactly how Meta's systems are quietly operating in the background of our everyday lives. Welcome to This Explainer. To really wrap our heads around how this all works, we need to introduce a core metaphor. Think of Meta as this massive, impossibly intricate switchboard. Every single time you interact with a Meta product, or honestly, even products you think have absolutely nothing to do with Meta, you are essentially plugging in a wire and lighting up another bulb in their global surveillance machine. So today we're going to use the research to trace those wires, see exactly where intimate videos like Catherine's actually end up, and look at the tools you can use to start unplugging. All right, part one, the app layer, looking specifically at Facebook and Instagram. Let's see how these act as the first massive bulbs on the board. Okay, so right now, to keep up in this massive AI arms race, Meta is feeding practically every public post, photo, and comment from their platforms straight into their artificial intelligence models. Just having an account lights up a huge bulb on their board. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I don't even use Facebook anymore, so I'm totally safe. Well, not exactly. The documents highlight something called the Facebook SDK, or Software Development Kit. When independent developers build their own apps, they love using this toolkit because it gives them really sophisticated analytics. But the catch? It gives Meta a backdoor key to that app's data. Because of this little toolkit, Meta can track incredibly sensitive stuff from totally unrelated apps on your phone. We're talking your tax information, heart rate data, dating profiles, and literally even your menstrual cycles. In Instagram, they take this tracking a step further. They are monitoring hyperspecific microscopic behaviors to build a deep psychological profile of you. Researchers found that they're detecting the color palettes you prefer, exactly how many milliseconds you linger on a video, and the precise moment you swipe away, all to infer your current emotional state. Security researchers actually caught the Android app opening local ports, which is basically creating a backdoor so that if you visit a certain website, the app can just grab that data and forward it right back to Meta. The consequences of all this behavioral tracking are honestly severe. A Meta whistleblower named Sarah Wynne Williams actually testified that Meta's systems specifically targeted teenagers who were feeling depressed. The algorithms were allegedly set up so that if, say, a teenage girl took a selfie and then deleted it, the company didn't just ignore it. They interpreted that specific action as a moment of vulnerability and flagged it as the absolute perfect time to serve her ads for beauty products. So how do we disconnect these specific lines from the switchboard? Privacy advocates have a rapid-fire list of defenses. Number 1, if you absolutely must use these platforms, use your phone's web browser instead of the dedicated app. 2, go deep into your settings and turn off targeted ads. 3, clear your off-Meta history and make sure you disable that tracking. And finally, and this is a big one, never, ever use the in-app browsers. When you click a link in Instagram, open it in Safari or Chrome, because that in-app browser can see absolutely everything you type and do on that page. Moving on to part 2, the private message myth. Let's look at WhatsApp and Messenger and why encryption doesn't actually mean you're invisible. So the big vulnerability here comes down to one word, metadata. Think of metadata as the envelope, not the letter itself. Sure, Meta might not be able to read the actual contents of your end-to-end encrypted message, but they know exactly who you're messaging, the exact second you send it, and how often you two talk. And guys, this is not harmless data. Back in 2018, a Treasury Department official named Natalie Edwards used WhatsApp to leak documents exposing dirty money in U.S. banks. She thought she was completely bulletproof because of the encryption, but she was exposed entirely by her WhatsApp metadata, and she actually ended up going to prison for 6 months. And beyond just the metadata, there are literal loopholes where that famous encryption just completely drops away. For instance, if you message a business account on WhatsApp, those messages are often unencrypted and can be openly shared right back with Meta. The exact same thing happens if you use WhatsApp payments. Plus, think about when you first set up the app. It aggressively asks you to upload your entire contacts list to find your friends, right? Well, Meta then takes that list, cross-references it, and links it directly to your Facebook and Instagram profiles. To lock down your messaging, experts highly suggest going into your phone's system settings and fully revoking WhatsApp's permissions to your location, your microphone, and your contacts. If you happen to live in the EU, you actually have the legal right to opt out of data sharing between WhatsApp and other Meta products. But honestly, the absolute easiest way to unplug this specific wire is to just move your group chats over to a truly private app like Signal. All right, part 3, invisible tracking and the metapixel. This is where we look at the hidden lines on the switchboard that reach way out into the wider web. This brings us to the infamous metapixel. It's this tiny, completely invisible snippet of code embedded in literally millions of websites. Researchers basically just call it meta spyware. When you visit a site running this code, it immediately reports your actions back to Facebook servers. In 2022, it was discovered that the metapixel had actually infiltrated hospital websites, primary care patient portals, and even crisis pregnancy clinics. It was actively capturing highly sensitive health data, including whether someone was seeking information on an abortion, and sending whatever users were typing into private medical forms straight back to Meta. And if you're wondering why they track you this aggressively, well, it brilliantly illustrates the financial stakes. A few years ago, Apple introduced app tracking transparency. It was that little prompt on your iPhone asking if you wanted an app to track you across other companies' apps. Millions of people, obviously, clicked Ask App Not to Track. Because of that single privacy feature, Meta lost $230 billion in market cap in a single day. I mean, wow. That massive financial hit forced them to get creative and find brand new, completely invisible loopholes. To completely bypass Apple's roadblock, Meta started heavily pushing something called the Conversions API. Since Apple blocked tracking on your physical smartphone, Meta just went around the device entirely. The Conversions API allows a business's website to share the data they collect on you directly from their servers over to Meta's servers. So it tracks you continuously, it never even touches your phone, and it makes it completely immune to Apple's privacy protections. So what do the researchers recommend for fighting back against this invisible web? First up, use privacy-focused browsers or plugins that natively block these trackers. Second, and this is a really cool resource, use a tool called Blacklight, created by the tech publication The Markup. You literally just paste a website URL into Blacklight, and it will scan and reveal all the hidden trackers, including the metapixel, running on that specific site. Finally, for server-side tracking like the Conversions API, the only real defense we have is public awareness and actively pressuring companies to stop quietly handing over our data. Part 4. Smart glasses and shadow profiles. We are finally bringing the narrative full circle, right back out into the physical world. This timeline breaks down the frankly terrifying reality of what actually happened to Catherine's video from the very start of our explainer. Because the AI assistant living inside those smart glasses requires massive processing power, the media you capture is immediately sent to Meta's servers. From there, it gets monitored and labeled by human contractors sitting in offices around the globe. In Catherine's case, workers in Kenya were the ones who ended up watching her undress. And it's not an isolated incident. These same workers have reported seeing people's banking information, bathroom visits, and incredibly intimate moments, all of which is dutifully fed back into the system to train Meta's AI. But honestly, the most daunting part of this whole shebang is the concept of shadow profiles. You could do absolutely everything right. You could unplug every single wire, delete every app, and use strict privacy browsers. But Meta still keeps a dim bulb lit just for you. If a friend uploads a photo of you, if you use a totally unrelated app that just happens to have the Meta SDK inside it, or if you just visit a website with a pixel, they are building a profile on you. Think about this. Even a newborn baby is likely already in their massive system if their parents ever sent a picture of them in a DM or used a pixelated pregnancy tracking app. Meta has spent the better part of the last decade turning the internet and now increasingly our actual physical lives into their own monetizable space. The authors of these reports argue that understanding this relentless 24/7 tracking is the absolutely necessary first step to stopping it. Because at the end of the day, the switchboard only has power if users keep plugging into it. Looking at the sheer unprecedented scale of this machine, the research leaves us with one final, absolutely critical question. Will society actually fight to build an internet that protects our privacy? Thanks for watching and stay safe out there.